What is up? Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And on today's episode, I'm going to talk about why you keep self-sabotaging yourself, or why the real reason you keep sabotaging yourself. Thank you. Sometimes words are hard. Anyway, and this really is like a root cause for a lot of people. It's the reason they cannot maintain their results. And so I really wanted to dig into that today because I think a lot of people struggle with this. It might not even be fat loss related. It could be, maybe you're building a business and you're trying to grow your business and you keep doing things that sabotage your potential to grow that business. So anyway, that's why I wanted to talk about it. It's very common in all aspects of life, and being able to identify why it's happening and how to fix it, that will help you yield those sustainable fat loss, health, fitness, business, whatever results that you desire. But before we dig in, I wanted to give an update on what happened to me today because I think there's a valuable lesson from that. So today I had all these plans. I was going to go on a hike with a friend. I have my last lift of my current phase of programming today. I was going to knock out because I'm really tired of those cable kickbacks. It's not my favorite exercise. Anyway, and, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do these things at this time and yada, yada. And as I'm making breakfast, my friend's supposed to come over at 7, so it's probably 6:30. I'm just making a cottage cheese Honeycrisp apple bowl, which is absolutely phenomenal if you've never had it. Shoot me a message on Instagram. I'll give you the recipe if you want it. Highly recommend. But anyway, as I was chopping the apple, I sliced my finger. So, obviously, all the plans I had for the day were put on hold and shifted around or completely just marked off my schedule. So it's I can't. I'm okay. I sliced the tip off my finger, not my fingertip, not the whole thing, but the skin part. And so it's very painful, but can't see the bone. It's just kind of gross, and I almost passed out because I can't look at my own blood and stuff. So anyway, but because of that, it's quite painful. So I can't lift. I canceled the hike because, well, it was 15 minutes before she was going to arrive that happened. And we went to the hospital just to make sure. But as I said, everything's fine. I didn't need stitches. I didn't need anything crazy. They just wrapped up my finger. But the reason I'm talking about this is my mindset helped me during this event. So old Emma would have beaten herself up, been really down, and pissed off at herself. And then it's okay, well, you're just going to be in a bad mood all day and you're not going to get to do anything slightly productive or even enjoyable. And so instead, what I did is I thought, okay, well, obviously can't lift today. Canceled the hike because I needed to go to the doctor, emergency, just in case. But you know what I can do? I can probably get ahead a little bit on work. I've been working kind of every day of the week, not 10 plus hours a day. Some days I'm working 12 hours. Some days I'm working 4. So on the weekends, usually in the mornings, I'll do a little bit of work so I'm not caught behind. So I am a solopreneur. My husband is my podcast editor and my emotional support person. But other than that, I'm doing client fulfillment, marketing, sales, back end systems, all the things. So usually there's something I have to do every day, and I'm okay with it because I enjoy it. But anyway, but I'm like, you know what? I can get ahead on stuff. I was getting a little behind because yesterday some stuff happened. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to get ahead on stuff. I slept really poorly, so I can kind of relax. And then tomorrow or Sunday, I can do that last lift. And I could have spiraled and been in a terrible mood, but because of my shift in perspective and shifting and thinking, oh, well, what good can come out of this? Or, that kind of helped me make the situation better, I guess. And that's like, oftentimes, that's like self-sabotage. That's kind of what happens with a lot of people. It's like, oh crap, I ate a whole pizza. Well, screw it. Might as well start again on Monday, or I'm never going to be able to do this, yada yada, right? People kind of spiral. And so it's being able to identify when that issue occurs, like trying to shift your perspective on that issue and come at it from a more, instead of a judgmental and harsh place, coming at it from a more curious sort of place. So curious position. And that can help you identify why this event occurred in the first place, and then can help you take actionable steps to prevent that next time. For specifically, I guess my example is not great because I wasn't trying to slice my finger, and I didn't do it to not hike or lift or do my other things I wanted to do today. It just kind of happened. But I didn't sleep well, so maybe the me not sleeping well could have resulted in me doing this thing, and maybe there's things I could do in the future to make sure I get better quality sleep, because it's so important. But anyway, so back to the main topic of the episode. Just thought that was a good kind of perspective to have on mindset. So what is self-sabotage? Self-sabotage is when things are going well. Your body is like, things can't be going well because I don't identify as a person who can lose body fat and keep it off. So your body will quote unquote protect you, your brain, body, mind, and that's when those events usually occur. And it can happen from a lot of things. What's really common is it tends to be like food related, like because you restrict a particular food all the time, then you go off the rails, right? The all or nothing kind of mindset. It could be starting strong when you have that motivation, and then when that motivation dissipates, you just kind of ghost and give up. But usually it's not rooted in laziness, which is why a lot of people kind of beat themselves up and stuff. But usually it's rooted in some form of protection. So like I was saying earlier, right? If you don't truly believe to your core that you're somebody who can lose weight and keep it off, if you believe you're constantly destined to be stuck in a cycle of gaining weight, losing weight forever, then you're going to make that a reality. Because change is uncomfortable. Change is different. We don't like different. Change is unsafe. So oftentimes a lot of these self-sabotaging behaviors are kind of stemmed from that place, like wanting to keep things the same. Because it's like, if you don't try, well, then you never failed, right? Because sometimes people don't want to identify as a failure, when in reality, failure is part of the process. Everybody's going to fail, right? So sometimes it's protecting you from failure. Sometimes it's protecting you from looking good. And that might sound kind of crazy, but there is like a high correlation of people who have had some form of sexual trauma and who are overweight, because they can hide behind themselves. They can hide in the background. Whereas if you start to look better and look good, hey, maybe people are going to notice me. Maybe you don't want to be noticed, right? Maybe you experience some form of trauma. So those are kind of two common ones, like fear of being center of attention, fear of being a failure. So the first step to fixing these behaviors, as I kind of touched on, is kind of identifying when they do occur, what happened. Just being curious. What happened and why is this happening? And then when you can identify that, you can actually mimic that self-sabotaging behavior and have conversations with it. Journal about it. Because when you realize what's happening and when you can identify its common behaviors and its patterns and have conversations with it, then you can come up with solutions and other things that'll better help serve you and your goals. So a good example of this would be, like, let's say every time you have a deadline, you eat a whole thing of pizza. So you didn't realize that before, but because you started to kind of keep track of that, you're like, well, pizza tastes good. And in the moment, pizza makes me feel good. So maybe I gravitate towards doing this thing, even though I'm trying to lose body fat. Maybe I do it because in that moment, it helps me feel safe and gives me some form of comfort. Then you can identify, oh, well, what else is comforting to me that will better help me serve my goals? And maybe what's comforting to you is calling up a friend or a loved one and having a conversation, or maybe going out with your spouse on a walk and having conversation, or talking to somebody about what's stressing you out, or maybe it's reading a book and taking a bath, with a nice like lavender like bath salt or something. That sounds really nice right now, to be honest. But as I said, once you can identify what that self-sabotaging behavior is trying to give you, you can come up with solutions that will better help serve you and your goals. And most people listening to this, they want to be healthier. They want to feel good. They want to lose body fat. They want to look better. And so if you can be introspective and identify those behaviors and those patterns that you've done in the past that are keeping you stuck, you can reach those goals. And in fact, I really think like mindset and focusing on that inner work is the key for most people. A lot of people don't need a new diet. A lot of people don't need a new workout plan. A lot of people need to learn better about themselves and their behaviors and why they're having these behaviors. So anyway, I built a mini course inside my one-on-one coaching program and my group coaching program, Fit Habit Club. called Conquer Your Inner Bitch Ass. Because, I mean, calling it a bitch ass is just lightens the mood a little bit. So, like, some people call it your demon, that, like, voice inside your head that's keeping you stuck. But I like bitch ass. I think it's more fun to say. So, anyway, so I built that out because it's so common. And some people, it's not food. For me, my inner bitch ass was like, hey, this stressful thing happened. Let's go for a 6-mile run up the hills. And, right, I was using exercise, over exercising, as a way to get dopamine and cope with my problems instead of actually acknowledging my emotions. And I didn't even realize that until I started digging into this research and learning more about it. What stopped me from doing those behaviors was identifying that those behaviors are why I'm unhealthy. Those behaviors are why I don't have a menstrual cycle. It wasn't because I identified, oh, those behaviors are trying to protect me. And here's another way to do that. I wish I had done that. It probably would have made it easier. I did the cold turkey thing. And the more difficult way of doing it. And I still have those thoughts. And that's the thing. That's the funny thing. With these conquering these self-sabotaging behaviors, they will still show up. You will still have these thoughts. It's just learning how to handle them, how to converse with them, and how to guide them instead of allow them to control you and your behaviors. So anyway, I built out this mini course because, as I said, most people struggle with this in some capacity, not all food related. Some people it's taking it easy. Some people it's rest and recovery. And really, to create those sustainable results, you need to change your identity and you need to change how your behaviors. So being able to identify those behaviors that don't serve you, that will better help you achieve these goals for life, which is my goal. Obviously, Fit Habit Life podcast. Should have been Fit Habit for Life, I guess. But anyway, so I have a mini course. If you're at all interested in what's all entailed in there and the other resources I give my clients, shoot me a message on Instagram. It'll be tagged below. Or you can even book a complimentary consultation to see what it would be like to work with me if you do need that extra guidance. And as I said, I have Fit Habit Club, which is $97 a month. You get access to all of my resources, full course built out to help you, 24/7 messaging to me, and 4 monthly workout programs to choose from, strength training based, and monthly multiple group calls a month to actually get live questions answered and stuff. So my one-on-one is $397 because you have 24/7 access to me and one-on-one personalization. I will look at your blood work. I will look through your food logs very thoroughly every week. I will give you personalized mobility and workout programs to help you correct imbalances, feel better, move better. So anyway, those are the 2 options, and most people can afford one or the other. And so if you are struggling and you need some guidance and you'd like it, free consultation, no pressure at all. I can help you get out of your own way. And which is why I do what I do. But anyway, hopefully this podcast helped you as well. And if you do know anybody who is struggling with this, or, sometimes it's hard to give somebody a podcast. It's like, hey, you self-sabotage yourself all the time. Here, listen to this. But if you listen to it and you're like, hey, I just listened to this awesome podcast and it helped me with this thing, then somebody might be more open to listening to it. So anyway, if you're at all interested, or if this hit home with you, please like it, share it, rate the show, and I really appreciate it. The more people see this, the more people I can impact. So anyway, it's a long ramble at the end, but I will leave you with that. Peace. Thanks for listening.